Hello everyone, my name is Tushar Garg and today I am going to start a new topic which is Salesforce Flows. So I will not tell you everything in detail. I will give you one good playlist to learn the flows. But yeah, some basic thing I am going to tell you so that it will be helpful for you when you going and do some practice. Okay. So now what is flows, right? And this is the main question. What is flows? So basically, like in any system, right? You will do some automations, right? um, like what is automation? Okay, so whenever you perform any event, so on the time of event, like before that event or after that event, you will perform some type of automations, right? Means think about a condition, right? If you go and create the account, okay, now if I am going to create the new account, okay, once I create and once I save the account, then it may um, it may send some email, right? Or maybe when I create a new account, it will create some new contact, right? Or maybe when I create a new account, it may create um, some type of, it will update some new field. Okay, so what all these things, like I'm not doing these things manually, right? How these things are happening using automation, right? Means there are some automations which is happening once I create an account, or once I save the account, or once I update the account, once I delete the account, then some type of operations are happening, right? So those operations or those things, how we can do in Salesforce. So the one way to do these things is flows. Now, one thing I want to tell you, like previously in Salesforce we don't have flows. Previously Salesforce is using workflow, okay, and after then Salesforce use process builder, okay. Now, what is process builder? What is workflows? I guess you can go and you can see because now Salesforce are not using pro workflow. Now Salesforce not recommend to use process builder, right? Now Salesforce only say that always use flows for any type of work or for any type of automation. Hope this is clear. So what is flows? To perform any type of automations, Salesforce recommend to use flows. Okay. And what is automations? Like whenever we perform any event, on the time of event, if we want to send anything, then we will simply use a automation. Hope this is right. Hope you understand that. Okay. Now let me open the flow and let me tell you what is flows. So here you see one button which is new flow. Okay. So now let me tell you. Here you can see multiple type of flows. Okay. The one is the first one is trigger flow. Second one is scheduled flow. Fourth one is screen flow, and the fifth one is auto launch flow. Okay. Now, what is trigger flow? What is schedule flow? What is screen flow? And what is auto launch flow? Okay. So, what is trigger flow? Trigger. What is trigger? Right. So, trigger is something like some event is triggering, right? Like whenever we create a record, on the time of create record, something will trigger or some automation will trigger. You understand that? Like, what is triggered flow? Triggered flow is something like whenever we perform any event, whenever we create any record, whenever we delete any record, whenever we update any record, then this trigger flow will fire. So trigger flow will only fire whenever we perform any operation in Salesforce, whenever we perform any event in Salesforce. Hope this is clear. Hope trigger flow is clear. Okay. Now second is schedule flow. What is schedule? Like when someone say that okay, please schedule this meeting. So means it's saying now something is something which we need to do in future. Means we perform any event, but we don't want the result on the spot. We want to schedule it in future. Something like that, like I want one schedule which will tell me happy Diwali in the month of October, right? Or I want one schedule flow which will send the email to each and everyone in the new year. So, like in the new year, we will not send everyone email manually, right? Or we will not update any record. We will not create any record. We want automatically email will go on the date of 1st of December. Oh, sorry, 1st of January. How this is possible? Using schedule flow. Hope this is understand. Hope you are clear about that. Okay. Now the third thing is screen flow. Okay. Now I tell you when someone perform the event or anything will happen, then we will go with trigger flow. Whenever we want something will happen without any event, then we will go with the schedule flow. Now the screen flow. What is screen flow? Right. So screen flow is something like we want to create one screen. Okay. We want one screen or one UI. So see, this is the screen. This is something screen. Or let me go. This is something screen. How you can create these type of screen in flows? How you can create that? Using a screen flow you can create that. Hope this you are understand that. So in Salesforce, whenever we want to create any type of a screen, then we will simply use screen flows. Okay. Now the third and last thing is auto launch flow. Now what is auto launch flow? Auto launch. Auto. Auto launch means without any event. If we want to launch something automatically without any event, then we will use auto launch flow. So now we can invoke the auto launch flow with many ways. We can invoke the auto launch flow uh, with our trigger flow. Means we are writing one trigger flow, and under that trigger flow we will call our auto launch flow. So if someone asks you what is auto launch flow, so you can say that auto launch flow will called automatically from any other flows or from any other type of events. Auto launch flow will not trigger whenever we perform, whenever we create, or whenever we delete any record. Hope you guys are clear about that. Hope you understand what is trigger flow, what is schedule flow, what is screen flow, and what is auto launch flow. Understand? Okay. Now open the trigger flow. Okay. So in the trigger flow also we have some type of trigger flow. The first one is record trigger flow, platform event trigger flow, record trigger, and record trigger. So basically we will not use these. Actually we are not going to use any of these three. In future maybe when you guys are working in any company, maybe you guys will use that. But generally we will not use that. Okay. Generally we will only use trigger flow, schedule flow, or these flows. Okay. So let me talk about record trigger, which is the main and most used flow. Okay. So basically, um, whenever we write any trigger flow, then we need to choose any object. Like from which object we want to trigger. Um, Let me give you one simple example. Okay. What is object? So I am going here. Okay. And here I create one account. So when the flow will run, flow may be run when we create the account, flow may be run when we update the account, flow may be run when we delete the account. You understand that? Like whenever any operation will perform, whenever any create operation will perform, whenever any delete operation will perform, whenever any update operation will perform, then one flow will trigger. Like I want to perform any type of automations. Once we create the record, or once we update the record, once we delete the record, then we will use record trigger flows. Hope this is clear. Okay. So basically, we will perform any operation in any object, and when we perform any operation in any object, then we will perform some type of automations. Means whenever we create the record, then we will perform any automation. Whenever we update the record, we will perform any automation. Whenever we delete the record, we will perform the automations. Right? So maybe there are some event. On the time of those event, we will perform any operation using record trigger flow. Okay. So we will choose one object and we will say we want to perform operation on the time of create or on the time of update or create or update and delete. Okay. Conditions, like if we want to give any condition, like okay, if account phone is null equal to false, if account phone is null equal to false, then what we want, then we want we want to make type as prospect. Okay. So acha, one more thing I want to discuss here. You are seeing two more things: fast field update and SN related items. Okay. What is fast field update? So fast field update is, you can simply say that whenever you perform any operation in the same object, then you always use fast field update. Means if you create the account, or if you update the account, or if you delete the account, on the time of update or create, if you want to update or create the same account, then we will use fast field update. Hope you are understand that. You guys clear about that? Okay. Now let me open that, and here you see action and related records. Okay. Whenever we want, like whenever we want to, we will perform an event in single object and it will impact the another object, then we will create, when we will use action and related item. Means I don't want to update the same object field. I can give you one example. Whenever we create account, I want content will also create it, then we will use action and related item. Hope you guys clear about that. Okay. So I create or update the account, I choose fast field update, and now I'm choosing assignment operation. You can use update of record also, but always as a best practice, if you perform the same operation in the same object, and if you are using fast field update, then always use assignment. Okay. Update account type. So use account type equal to prospect. So simple, this is a simple flow. You can save it and activate it. And now this flow will activate. Now whenever you create and update the account, and if your phone number is not null, then account type will be changed to prospect. Hope you guys are understand that. Now as I committed, like I like flow is a very big topic, so I tell you to follow this particular. One second. You can follow this particular channel, like maybe you can follow Salesforce Greek, or you can follow. This is also good actually. Any of this series you will follow, and you can become the expert of flow, because I will not tell you each and everything in flows. I want to make this tutorial series very simple, so that anyone can understand the admin. But if you want to go deep, then you can go and follow these type of channels, which may be very useful. So thank you so much for joining this lecture. I will meet you soon in the next lecture. Thank you.